We've got Deena Mehta with us, Managing Director at Asit C. Mehta, joins us out of our Marine Plaza studios. Deena, thanks so much for joining us in this new year. First off, let me wish you very happy and prosperous 2010 from everybody here on Profit. It's a real pleasure to interact with you. Let me start with asking you the change which has been made to the stock lending and borrowing mechanism. The tenure for that has been increased. It was 7 days earlier, got bumped up to 30. Still no real participation for that. Now it's 12 months. You think it'll do the trick?
Honestly, no. I feel that SEBI is very honestly trying to see to it that SLBM works. But the market structure is such that there is no need for anybody to borrow securities. If you look at the cash market, it is settled on T+2 day. If you look at the derivative market, you can short sell and there is no need to or no requirement to physically settle the shares. Now, in absence of any requirement to physically settle the share, where is the need for anybody to borrow? And if somebody were to, sell short in the cash market, generally we have seen that the cash and the futures market are at tandem, or at times the future market is at a premium. Now, if future market is going to be at a premium most of the time, and if people go and short sell in futures, and if there is no requirement to deliver the shares, then what is the need of securities lending and borrowing? So the markets do not dictate any need for the purpose of borrowing the security. That is why despite lot of attempt made by SEBI, this system is not taking off, and it is not likely to take off unless and until SEBI makes it mandatory for physical deliveries in the future segment.
Okay, that's pretty clear cut. Deena, the other point is that the mechanism is only available to securities in the futures and options segment. The derivative segment is also a handicap.
Actually, no. As I told you, I mean the futures and F&O segment, as we call it, is a fairly large window of stocks which are most frequently traded, and I think it is, and those are the stocks which are very liquid. So there are no short sellers don't get into a squeeze, and the floating stocks available in market of these stocks are fairly high. So according to me, I do not think that there is any situation where more number of stocks are required. I think what stocks are there are fairly adequate, they are fairly liquid, so that markets can be made very well. But what is important to note is that the securities and lending and borrowing, the way the system has been designed, it is necessary. Like as I told you, there is no need to borrow so far as the futures market is concerned. If a person were to short sell in the stock, in the cash market, then he has to declare upfront that he has sold short sold. Secondly, if he wants to meet the T+2 guideline, then he has to borrow before actually selling. So a short seller has to declare his intention that he is going to short sell and he is borrowing the stock. I think if this information is available in advance to the market, then the impact cost of that transaction can be very high, and in all probability, the intention may not be achieved. So I don't think that the system has any compulsion whatsoever for a person to lend or borrow securities.
Okay. Deena, this is Manvi joining in from the Delhi studio. Just want to quickly get your comment on the 9 a.m. issue. Now that we've done 1 week of trading, we've been looking at the volumes, and the BSE NSE average combined volume since Jan 4th is about 161 crore shares, and that is about 34% higher than the average we found for October to December. So mission accomplished as far as the community is concerned, or not really?
Honestly speaking, I have always maintained that volumes are a function not just because of timing, but because of lot of events that take place in the market. If you look at the beginning of the year, we have had good GDP numbers talked about. We have talked about 43-44% growth in the corporate earnings in the quarter. So I think the picture which is emerging of the markets is fairly clear that we are in for an upward kind of a move, or the people are very positive on the market. So that could be a reason for increase in volumes. It is not that I am saying that volumes don't go up because market timings are there. I think volumes go up because investors, there is less uncertainty in the market. Investors have a clear signal from the market that their investments, the long-term horizon, at least 3 to 6 month horizon, is very clear. I think these are the reasons, and Historically also, we have always believed that from January onwards, we get a lot of FII investments who normally follow a calendar year. Their year closes in the month of December, and we see from mid-December onwards a kind of build-up in positions and in anticipation that the FIIs would be buying the shares. So this is also one of the reasons which pushes the stocks upward and volumes go up. And normally, you know, a higher index leads to higher volumes. So I would not assign this as the only reason for the purpose of growth in volumes. But of course, we cannot say 100% that timing has not impacted. Maybe some impact is there. But impact. Had the positive factors not been there, then I am very sure this would not have happened.
Okay. Deena Mehta, we leave it at that. Thanks very much for joining us. And again, a very happy 2010. More importantly, a prosperous 2010.